Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we called Mark Attendance API from our Angular application. And in today's video, we will add another feature related to Mark Attendance. And in this feature, we will restrict the manager to mark the attendance multiple times for one employee on a single day. So let's get started. So in our Spring Boot application, to restrict the manager, we need to write the code in the attendance repository, and to do this we will open attendance repository, and in this repository we need to create a method to find the attendance by employee, project and date. And if this method returns attendance, that means the manager already marked the attendance for that employee for today, and in that case we need to return an error from our backend application. So let's start by creating this method in the attendance repository, and this method will return optional attendance. And first of all we will write optional and we will import it from java.util, and this will be of attendance. And after this, for the JPL query we will write find by, and then we will mention the keyword employee ID, and after this we will write an operator, and then we will mention the keyword project ID, and after this we will write again and at the end we will give the keyword as date. And in this method we will accept employee ID of type long, and after the employee ID we will accept project ID, and the type of this will be long as well, and at the end we will accept date of the type local date. And with this our method is completed in the attendance repository. And now let's open attendance service, and after this we need to call this method in our mark attendance method. And to do this we will create one optional variable, and this will be of type attendance, and we will name this as optional attendance. And after this we will use attendance repository, and we will call this method find by employee ID, project ID and date. And in this method we need to pass the employee ID, project ID and date. And to pass the employee ID we will use our DTO, and we will call a method get employee ID. And after this, to pass the project ID we will again use DTO, and we will call a method get project ID. And after this, to pass the date we will use local date, and then we will call the method now. And after the method call we need to check our optional attendance, and to do this we will write if condition, and in this if we will use our optional attendance, and we will call a method is empty. And if our optional attendance is empty, then only we will create this new attendance. And to do this we will wrap our existing code in this if block, and after this we will write else block, and in this else block we need to throw an exception. And to do this we will write throw new, and after this we will throw entity exist exception. And after this, for the message we will send attendance already marked for today. And with this our code is completed for the mark attendance method. And in this method basically first of all we are trying to get an optional attendance, and we are getting this attendance by employee ID, project ID and the date. And if this attendance is present, that means the user already marked the attendance, and in that case we are throwing an exception. And in the other case, if attendance is not present, we are creating the attendance. And now let's run our Spring Boot application. And as you can see, our application is up on port 8080 without any errors. And after this our Angular application is up and running as well. And now let's go to the browser and let's verify this restriction. And in the browser we need to log in as manager, and after this we need to mark the attendance. And for today we will click on this absent button, and as you can see we got the message attendance marked successfully. And after this let's click on this present button again, and as you can see we got an error message attendance already marked for today. And after this let's click on this absent button again, and as you can see we got the same error again. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we will create leave entity in our Spring Boot application.